Assalamu alaikum students. How are you? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. I thought let's discuss about poetry, and I was literally taking interest in that subject, so I thought let's not waste any time and let's teach you as well. So the students who are doing BS or in English literature or doing BA, MA, whether they are in the linguistics program or they're doing literature, it would be very beneficial. Sorry, very beneficial for them. Uh, Today, the poem we are going to deal with is After Apple Picking. You must going to deal with that poem if you're having American literature in your course, in your degree as a course. So first of all, we are going to discuss by introducing it, and then I will explain it line by line. So before getting the idea of the poem, you must have the proper introduction of that poem, that who is the author, when it was written, from which country it was written, what was the era, and what about the situations, political or the religious conditions of that era. So you will have proper command on the analysis, and for your papers it would be very beneficial. First of all, it was written by American poet Robert Frost. So first of all, it is clear that it is a part of American literature, and it was written by Robert Frost. Poem primarily focused on sleep, dream, and winter. So the poem we are going to discuss after apple picking is primarily focused on sleep, dream, and winter. Robert Frost is highly famous for depicting the rural life in colloquial way. So his poetry is basically revolves around the natural aspects and on the rural life in an easy way, in a daily use vocabulary. Colloquial way, colloquial language is the daily use or the easy language that we use in our daily routines. He tried to describe nature and natural events in a poetic way. Relevant poem, I mean the poem we are discussing here, revolves around the act of picking apples. There is a person who is picking apples from the apple tree in an apple garden, and weather is winter and quite cold, and shows the overall fantasy of apple picker with his job. So this is the overall scenario in which the poem has been written, that there is a person who is picking up apples from the apple garden. Weather is quite intense and cold. So this is totally about the natural environment in which the poem has been written. So we are going to discuss and analyze this poem line by line. So stay with me and enjoy the analysis and explanation. My two pointed ladders sticking through a tree towards heaven still. I don't know what is happening with my laptop today. Got disturbed with that, by the way. Okay, my two pointed ladders sticking through a tree towards heaven still. So he is on the two pointed ladders sticking through a tree. So he is on the ladder which is sticking through a tree, to a tree towards heaven still. Let's move toward the explanation. So the poem starts off with the line that first line suggests that apple picker is still picking up apples and is on the ladder which is old fashioned and have 2 points at the end. Two pointed ladders. Here is the explanation of that phrase, that have 2 points at the end and you have to lean against a tree. You're leaning against a tree and you're picking up apples and you are on the ladder. The first line is quite confusing, that it shows that the apple picker is still picking up the apples. But title says the opposite, after apple picking. So there is a conflict between the first line of the poem and the title of the poem. As it is a poem, the title suggests that it is after the apple picking. But from the first line, it feels that apple picker is still picking up the apples. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. Enjoy the poem. So poetry is all about such contradictions and ambiguities. Towards heaven still. So the word towards heaven still is depicting that ladder is opening up in heaven, and is of great significance and is a part of great blessing. For example, towards heaven's tale is of great significance as it relates a religious biblical story. It is a reference to a religious biblical story in which Jacob dreams of the ladder which opens up to heaven and angels climb it. So he is just using a biblical reference to emphasize on the ladder and the significance of the ladder. Next is, and there is a barrel that I didn't fill beside it, and there may be two or three apples I didn't pick upon some more, but I'm done with apple picking now. Very easy line, very easy line. I mean, he's saying barrel. What is barrel? Barrel is somewhat a container in which he's putting his apples after picking from the tree, which is not yet filled, and he has to pick that. He has to fill up that container, has to fill up that barrel. That he has to pick some more apples, but he is tired and is done with apple picking. Now he's exhausted. So this was the overall. Now we will dig deeper. These are the easiest line of the poem, and Poe is saying here that there is a barrel which he has to fill and complete his job, yet he is tired and exhausted. It also depicts the ripe apples are hanging from the tree which he has to pick and put into the last barrel. Because if he doesn't pick up um, the ripe apples, they would be damaged. They will be overripe. So it is his responsibility to complete his job at any cost. The phrase "I'm done with apple picking" shows he is tired and also sick of picking apples anymore. I mean, overall, the scenario is that he loves picking up apples, but apple picking in the cold weather is quite hard working and it's quite tiring. I mean, it makes you tired. So he's kind of tired now and he's exhausted. He does not want to pick apples from the tree anymore. Next line is essence of winter sleep is on the night, the scent of apples I am drowsing off. Okay, essence of winter sleep is on the night. I mean, just compare your night. I mean, compare the winter nights and the summer nights. Mostly, winter nights are quite sleepy and more comfortable because you get sleepy due to the, decreasing temperature, and he is drowsing, he is sleepy, and scent of apples is making him drowsy because he is so much absorbed in his work and he is you know enjoying the scent of apples and he is tired. Now he becomes sleepy due to scent of apples. Beautiful lines reflecting the idea that where the poem is set. So it is giving you the proper clarification that overall environment of the poem in which the poem is written. It is night time and weather is very cold. Moreover, the apple picker is really tired and sick of picking up apples, so that's why he's sleepy. He's sleepy, and considering his approaching sleep to a scent of apples, we can say it in a he's using the poetic way to express his ideas. We can conclude that his job has gone on his nerves. Yeah, I mean, he's totally into that another zone, and he has started to smell the apples, and even it has no such existence like sleep and all. I mean, he is comparing the scent of apples with the sleep. No one gets sleepy by smelling or by enjoying the scent of apples, but he is. I mean, fragrance of apple is making him drowsy. These lines can suggest two ideas. He is actually sleeping on the ladder in the orchard, or he is dreaming all of this. So during the whole of the poem, you will get two ambiguities that whether he is dreaming or whether all of the incidents are happening in reality, because his dream will be near to reality because he will have the dream with proper uh, reality. The feel of reality would be in his dream. Okay, take a long breath. Okay, I cannot rub the strangeness from my sight I got from looking through a pan of glass I skimmed this morning from the drinking trough and held against the world of hoary grass. It melted and I let it fall and break. It is a long line and complicated as well, but don't worry, stay calm. I'll make it easy for you. So, for example, I'll give you an example, then you will understand this line. For example, in the winter morning, you will have to get out and go outside and then get water from the I mean a container where the water is there, and you have to go outside to get water. When you get up, you will have the blurry vision. Your eyes will not support you or such light, and you will have blurry vision of things. Then you go outside, the upper sheet of water, the upper layer of water will be freezed by the low temperature. Then you will skim it, and then you will have a sweet drinking water. So this is the overall situation from which the apple picker is going through, and this is what Robert Frost has described in these lines. Okay, I know you haven't got it properly. I have some explanation. Things will get easy. These are the most significant and confusing lines of the poem, as it suggests the most odd phenomena which not most of us have to face these days, because we go to kitchen and get water. We don't need to go outside to get water. So that's why it becomes a little difficult for you to understand. Overall, the lines tells that apple picker get up from sleep and went outside to get drinking water from the trough, from container from which he has to get water, and weather is freezing out there. Due to intense weather, the upper layer of water in the trough has converted into a sheet of ice. You get my point, right? And he picks up that sheet and tries to see the grass against the sheet. I mean, he is seeing the grass by seeing out into the sheet of ice. He sees the hoary grass, the sorry, I wrote glass, it's grass. So hoary grass, I mean the grass looks grey from that sheet, and everything in his vision is vivid and unclear. So this is the whole phenomena. It is just adding to the senses that, just in making you believe that you are in that situation by yourself. Next is, but I was well upon my way to sleep before I fell, and I could tell what from my dreaming was about to take. So there's a huge time shift. He was getting outside drinking water, but now he's talking about dream. Whether he is still in dream or in reality, there is a conflict. I mean, this is all about artistic situation in which he is indulging us. He says he is on his way to sleep and ice has not dropped down yet. I mean, maybe the previous line is not about reality and he was just dreaming about drinking water. These lines are quite far away from real world, whether he is having a dream of latest memory or maybe he's just trying to exaggerate by confusing the reader. So don't worry. In the upcoming line, he said what form of dream he will going to have. It will be all about apple picking, nothing else would be coming into his dream. Magnified apples appear and disappear. Okay, there are big one apples and blossomment, and every fleck of russet showing clear. I mean, every defect, every aspect of apple can be seen. Very easy line. These lines draw the picture of his dream. What he is seeing in his dream is depicted by these lines. He is having a dream where he sees apples which are otherworldly appearance, which are not normal in size, which are very big in size. They are floating in front of his eyes like little stars or something, and every brownish or reddish speck. The brownish or reddish speck is the fleck of russet that dot the surface of the apple. I mean, every flaw, every aspect of apple is observed in his dream. That he's so much keen and he's observing everything in his dream. Speck a tiny spot. This is fleck a small patch of light or color. I mean, you see on apple there are dots on apples, which is called fleck of russet, which is showing clear in his dreams. My instep arc not only keeps the ache, it keeps the pressure of the ladder round. I feel the ladder sway as the bow bend. I mean, he is overall in that line, he is saying that he is feeling the pressure of the ladder on his um foot, and this is painful, and he is also feeling the feel of the ladder leaning against the tree. In these lines, he is feeling even the pressure of the ladder upon the bottom of his foot and swaying of the ladder against the tree. I mean, in his dream, his senses are also active and he is feeling even the pain in his dreams. Even the hard-working situation of the apple picking can easily be felt by his senses in his dream. I mean, his dream is near to real or something real. It shows his senses are totally and deeply involved in his dream. I mean, he is too much into apple picking that the way he's dreaming is totally the way he is living the life in reality. Round ladder is depicting one of the old-fashioned ladder, nothing significant, and I keep hearing from the cellar bin the rumbling sound of load of apples coming. For example, you are in the place or the storeroom where the where they store apples, and you will see you will hear you will listen the sound or the rumbling sound of apples when they unloaded and when they sorted out in the storeroom. So these lines draw the entirely realistic image of apple being unloaded into the storeroom that I have already told you, where apples are stored and arranged. I mean, they will pick up apples, they will put apples into the storeroom and they will arrange it. Then all of the sounds can easily be heard by a person who is seeing, who is near to that unloading situation. He can even feel the sound of it. Heat also gives the idea that speaker is not the only apple picker. There are more people than there are, you know, a lot of people who is doing their job with their apple picker. For I have had too much of apple picking. I am overtired of the greater harvest I myself desired. I mean, he desired it before doing this job for harvest. I myself desired. I mean, in normal life, uh, we get to do something with full of attention and we love doing it, but after some time or after doing for a lot of time, we get desperate and we get bored. We say we don't want to do it, we get exhausted and we get, you know, things become complicated. So the overall situation is that he loved picking up apples, but right now I have had too much of apple picking and I'm overtired. I don't want to pick even a single more apple anymore. He was once having a strong desire of harvest, I mean apple picking, but now he's exhausted and want to stop picking up apples anymore. It all only shows that he's tired now. Similar to the previous lines. It shows the life that sometimes we are excited something in life, and after a few days we get bored or tired of doing the same job again and again. It's life. It's the normal feeling that we face in life. There were 10,000 fruits to touch. I mean, he's just exaggerating that there are limitless or there are a lot of numbers of trees, a lot of number of apples to pick. Cherish in hand, they look beautiful in hand. Lift down, we pick them up and don't and not let fall. They should not touch the ground. For all that struck the earth, no matter if bruised, I mean no matter if they are damaged or not, went surely to the cedar apple heap as of no worth. I mean, okay. In these lines, the reason of apple picker to be overtired of harvest is hidden. In these lines, you will see why is he so much tired or why he is so conscious in picking up apples. What is so much artistic or what could be so much artistic in picking up apples? He has to do the same job which is monotonous again and again, pick and drop, pick and drop. He picked the apple from the tree and drop it into the barrel. He picked the apple and drop it into the barrel. Secondly, he has to be intensively cautious. Why he has to be cautious is just like a simple job, but of not letting fall the apples on the ground. They should not touch the ground, for they would be of no worth. They will lose the entire worth of themselves if they touch the ground. I mean, I'm talking about apples, and will be sent to the place where heap of such apples are there, and apple cider will be made out of them. They will not be used as the normal apple, but apple cider will be made out of them as of no worth, as he has already described. This whole process is very painful for the speaker because losing something which you love is very painful, and losing again and again by your uh, carelessness would be very would be very troublesome. Next is one can see what will trouble the sleep of mind, whatever sleep it is. Okay. In the following lines, he is expecting to see the dream again and sure what kind of dream he will have. He is expecting and is sure about that he will, you know, enjoy the dream or will see the dream. I'm not sorry, no enjoy, but he's saying that trouble. The sleep of mind, whatever sleep it is, he is worried about having the dream, and because when he sleep, his mind is still in his job, and he is kind of uh, in the trouble. The word trouble is ambiguous for the reader. It shows that speaker is disturbed by having such images in sleep, but the answer of why is not being given here. I mean, he is not telling you why is he so much worried of having a dream again, but he is worried about what has been answered here. Sometimes quotes remain some point to be partially discussed just to increase the reader's interest is just a normal thing in poetry. Next, here's just oh, sorry. Were he not gone, the woodchuck could say whether it's like his long sleep as I described it's coming on or just some human sleep. Okay, woodchuck is an animal. He is an hibernating animal. I mean, hibernating animals or birds are those animals or birds who sleep for the whole season for couple of months. So he is depicting that he is really tired and he is expecting whether he would have a human sleep or whether he would enjoy or whether he would hibernate for the whole season that he has worked so much and now will going to sleep for 2 to 3 or 4 5 months like that. He is just wondering whether he will have a normal human sleep or will he sleep for the whole season like a long period of time like hibernating animal woodchuck. I have already explained. I mean, there are different animals or the birds, they sleep for the whole season. You can Google them. Our topic is not about hibernating animals or discussing about them, but I have explained the idea. You can Google them for your interest. Okay, message. Poem is all about dedication. It's about how much dedicated you are to your job, feeling of tiredness that he has depicted the tiredness in a way that it is not negative to be tired of your job. It is not negative. It's okay. It's normal human emotion and dream. You dream of different things, he dreams of apples. All you have to understand the overall setting of the poem and explanation would be far easier for you. For your exam, you need to just imagine that place and the overall surrounding and the temperature and the atmosphere and the weather, and then explanation would be very easy for you. Good luck for your exams, presentation, and all. Thank you. Goodbye. Allah Hafiz.